How y'all doing? Today, we got something different for you all. We call this BRAT Talk. And the host of the day is Anderson Brazil.
What's good, man?
What's good?
I was sitting down and I was just thinking, so I said, man, you know what, let me call Adrian Johnson, DC Dre, and try to change the tables a little bit and let him get the opportunity to express himself on how he's allowing others to express themselves in a positive manner with the great works that he's doing. So what's up, bro? You ready for this, man?
Hey, I'm ready, man. I want to see what you got in store for me, bro.
So tell me, man, what made you want to create a Brat Life podcast?
The truth of the matter, man, my brother, a fellow brat, a Renthal,
My man, Do Dirty.
he kept coming to me. He came to me like, yo, we should do a podcast, man. We should do a podcast. And I kept saying, man, I ain't doing no podcast, man. You know how many people doing podcasts, this, that, and the third. So then he was like, look, man, he kept on pressing me. So finally one day, me, you, and him was on the phone on a three-way. And I was like, look, man, you want to do a podcast, man? We already got a following. He was like, I was like, who? And I was like, shit, the Brats. We should do the Brats. And they was like, yeah. And we've been working toward doing something for like a year and a half. Our schedules couldn't meet up for the episodes that we wanted to do. But the people that I had set up the interviews for were pressing me about when we was going to get the interviews done. So I set out for January 2020. The podcast, and I got a good response from it so far. I really appreciate all the viewers that's tuning in. I really appreciate all the subscribers that I have, the subscribers that I have yet to get. You get a chance, hit the subscribe button. It's free. We got more entertainment coming for you. Brat Life TV. We got Brat Life Experience that's coming. That's the episode that I'm talking about with my brother Renthal. We got Brat Life Talk, as you see right now, with my brother Anderson Brazil. And this is Brat Life.
Let's get into the real mindset behind Brat Life TV. A lot of people, they might see a lot of these cats with these broadcasts and they think it's easy. You know what? Not just the average Joe can really do a podcast because, one, it's a lot of behind the scene work that go into doing a podcast. I mean, you got to go through, you got to get yourself set up on a platform to touch around the world. You got to be able to have your stuff pre-script. You really got to do your homework and plan for this. So this ain't something that you just pop into. Hey man, I'm about to do this podcast. In order for a great podcast to work and be successful like yours have been successful and taking off so rapidly. So tell me some of the behind the scenes, man. If you're displaying your work and trying to embed in others, if they want to go out this route, what are some of the behind the scene work that got to be done in order to have a successful podcast such as yourself with this Brat Life, baby?
First and foremost, I don't jump into anything without studying it. You understand? I have learned from business ventures that I had previously that you have to know what you're getting into. So I studied. I talked to other people with podcasts. I did research. I looked into it, and I decided, let's do the podcast. I was 10 toes down into it. You know what I'm saying? I did my research. I studied up on it. I got equipment. I got lights, cameras, action. You know what I'm saying? And it was time for some action. Time for some action. So it was lights, cameras, action. You know what I'm saying? Check the gate. You understand?
So let me ask you this. How do you engage your audience or the people that you're about to interview outside the podcast? What are some of the steps that you take to prepare for a podcast? And I'm just talking about actually talking to the person one-on-one, getting the feedback that you really want to get from them, And I know that a lot of people that you're dealing with, you pretty much had experience with them. You really know them. I mean, I know soon down the line, it's going to be people that's going to be coming to you, that's going to be banging down your doors, want to get on the podcast. Can I let out one of your secrets, man, or should I just keep it to myself about how powerful this podcast is and how powerful being a Nuremberg, or that's not Nuremberg, just being part of this brat life period is a whole new world, and how before you even got your feet wet, and I want to say before you even did your first podcast, your boy Shaq reached out to you, huh?
Yeah, no doubt. I had some people working on getting me hooked up with Shaq. I need him to go ahead and get on that Brat Life TV, Shaq. We're looking for you, baby. But yeah, I mean, what I do, man, believe it or not, a lot of people that I've interviewed, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I got interviews from people that went to Germany, went to school in Germany, like 6 years, 8 years after I did.
But you left a legacy in Germany, though, man. You really did leave a legacy. You know, some of this legacy, me being your boy, your brother.
No, that.
And I know the good, the bad, and the ugly. But let me change that question up a little bit. How do you intertwine with the people that you're interviewing so good? I never seen an interview where I thought it was an off interview. I mean, it was always a positive vibe. It seemed like that y'all just really connected.
Well, real talk, that's compliments of a brat. You understand? We all are receptive. We can go in any environment, any I could talk to a drug dealer the same way I could talk to a corporate owner. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So it's just the environment and how you adapt to it. And then, like I said, the brats, they've been real receptive. You understand? I really appreciate the love I'm getting from the brats. You know what I'm saying? Without them, this wouldn't be possible. So I really appreciate the love that I'm getting from the brats. They show up and they show out. You understand? So, and that's one thing brats have always done. You understand? Is we've been there for each other. You understand? I could recall the time we'd be at a fest and somebody over there fighting. We may not mess with them in school, but we over there wrecking with them at that fest. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just that environment. It's a love environment. But then you got to remember, we not only were we getting our passports dipped early, but we all had blue passports. You understand? No matter what it was, we all had blue passports. So we stuck on that. You understand? So
let me ask you this question here, man. I'm coming to you as an interviewer, but you my brother, like my real brother. So I want to ask you, with me knowing all your endeavors of you being an entrepreneur yourself, especially doing like big events. Like, I mean, I don't care if it's the NASCAR 500. I don't care if it's the whatever's going on in the race, getting into the politics, all-star game, and things of that nature. And then also being a family man, a working man with your entrepreneurship as well. Man, how do you balance that lifestyle with putting so much positive energy into your work in this podcast and making it seem like, this is all you do, when I know that it's so many other things that you're into behind the scenes just to make you and your family successful? Because this podcast is not paying you anything, but you're delivering blessings for others to get their story out there. So how do you balance that?
Well, you just hit the nail in the coffin. I get enjoyment of hearing the brats being able to express their talents, their stories, their history. You understand? This is parts of the puzzle that's been missing. You know what I'm saying? Brats have impacted the world. You understand? And nobody knows that the brats has impact. Come on, look. Shaq is a brat. Wiz Khalifa's a brat. Avion Crockett's a brat. Lil Mo's a brat. You understand? These are people that impacted the world. You understand what I'm saying? So, why not be able to express that gift that we've given to the world, but at the same time let the world understand the sacrifices that we made for them? Because not only did our families or our fathers or parents or guardians make them sacrifice for the United States, but we as children had to make them sacrifice. Because as soon as you got a friend, look, you just said in your interview, when we had that interview, it's coming out soon, y'all. But when we had that interview, you just said your 12th grade year, you had to go back to another school in the States. Didn't know nobody. You understand what I'm saying? So it was impacting us, and these are stories that need to be told, and the places that we've been. You understand? Everybody's like man, you had a conversation before. They talk about everybody's talking about traveling. Well, we traveled our whole life. You understand? Y'all just try and catch up. You understand? It's new to you all. You understand what I'm saying? But as a brat, we done that. We been done that. You understand what I'm saying? Like when y'all say people everywhere, y'all nowhere, that's how we used to feel. You understand? But we didn't understand the magnitude of the travel that we was getting.
So let me ask you about this podcast thing. You know what this podcast thing is, an underground world that's revamping the way America can reach out and see insight on different people's lives and experience and hear some of the great stories that you are telling. How far do you think that this podcast is going to go? Because you know what, now I don't need a TV. You know, I can sit down and listen to your podcast, you know, on my cell phone. And everybody in America have a cell phone. So, you know, what do you think the next big thing is going to be for podcasts? And what's the next big thing for DC Drake?
Well, truth of the matter, bro, I would like to get a deal with AFN and you know, drop Brat Life TV on AFN so that the brats that's presently doing the tour can have something to watch, some inspiration of they might have something to do, and maybe I could reach out and touch some of those brats and they tell their story that they have to offer. You understand? Because right now in full flesh, while a youth is overseas in Korea, Germany, wherever they may be, they got a story to tell, and I'm want to have a platform for them to tell their story.
That's real talk, man. That's real talk. You know what made me ask you to really, you know, do this interview with you is really so the world can have an insight through your vision, man, because your vision really impacted me. I know it impacted a lot of other people that, you know what, we have someone that walk through them battlegrounds that we done walk through, or as they say in corporate America, the walks of life that we all have shared. It might be in different areas, like you say, it might be in Korea, it might be in the States, it might be in Germany, it might be in the Philippines, wherever it may be, man. But your idea and vision is so impactful, man. I think that your vision, God never let a vision go without capturing it. And I think that you're just at the beginning of your stage with this thing. And I think that sooner or later, man, you're probably going to be reached out by someone way greater than me with a way bigger platform, man. Like, what'd you say, was it AFN that's over there, that's overseas? And, you know, probably be able to take a couple guys with you that's veterans brats to really explain life to these young cats that's some brats, to really help them embrace that, you know, what they're going through right now is not a curse, it's a privilege. You know, sometimes we go through things like, you know, in the podcast that's about to come, the first thing that you say, and a lot of people don't know this if they're not a brat, we used to always say that we wanted to get back to the world.
Back to the
but
world,
living the world dream overseas. There's so many people that want to be overseas to get that experience that we have. And, you know, another thing is that brat life. You know, I would say that brat life gets you prepared for college. And what I mean by that is that, when you in college, you gonna leave away from home, but you got guys that will stand far away that they have to get bused back and forth and stay in a dormitory because the school was like 3 hours away. So they will stay in a military high school dormitory, like a college dorm, for that whole week, and then go home until that Saturday and Sunday. But heaven forbid, if they was playing a sport, they was just stuck there, sometime going a whole month or 2 months without seeing their parents, unless their parents came down there, because that whole brat life vibe is a different experience. We were on the trains traveling to different ball games. If you played sports, the closest school was like 3.5 hours away, maybe 4 hours, to where Thursday we was up out of there. So we automatically had to get that academics taken care of to be able to go on that trip and play. So you know what, I really do say that brat life, especially for athletes, made you ready and accommodated for college life. You weren't gonna miss a beat. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I definitely agree. I mean, I'm gonna keep it 100. I didn't want to waste my parents' money because I wasn't going to school when I was in Norberg like that. Like I said, I didn't take a full advantage of it, but I definitely agree that the whole Dodge experience kept you prepared for college life. To travel, like you said. First of all, you had to have your academics up, or you've been ineligible quick. I done seen plenty of times we'd be ready to get on the bus, and the principal come out there and be like, "Oh, he's ineligible." Snatch somebody up out the line. They can't even go. They didn't have their bags packed. You understand? But so the whole experience to me was if you took advantage of it, had you college ready, because we had some good teachers in that school. And the Dodge system, they cared about your learning. You understand? And if you took advantage of it, you definitely would have came out.
This right here I'm going to trip you out on, man, and I think a lot of brats miss out on this, what the world that America don't know about, and these kids in public schools, they don't even have this opportunity, bruh. Let's talk about how I did and work. I remember us working at the commissary. We'll get out of school, we'll go to the commissary. You know what? We wasn't dependent on our parents for a lot of stuff because we were going out and getting it. But one of the biggest things is that most kids, the big thing now is buying school clothes. But you remember, I don't know what it was back in the day over there, but they used to have those jobs prepared for us for the summer to give us something to do, to where we could make money. And like one of my jobs, man, I used to work at the post office, bruh. That was the worst job I ever had in my life, man, because you know what, I really worked, man. And it installed that work in us, that work ethic, man.
Yeah, no doubt, but I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, bruh. You know me, I never got the opportunity to work none of them summer jobs. I never got the opportunity.
Well, you know what, you had your own caper going on. We ain't gonna talk about the ration of the cigarettes and all that. You see, I'm gonna tell you, man, some guys was ahead of the game when it came to the hustle, man.
Job, but I definitely was getting some money. But
hey man, you might as well go ahead and tell everybody now, dog. You can't get arrested for it. Let me tell y'all what we talking about here, for y'all just don't know. American cigarette costs way more than the German cigarettes. I don't know if the nicotine was higher in the cigarettes and the content, or American liquor.
But no, they didn't have the certain kind of cigarettes that we had. Like they wasn't getting no Cools.
Yeah, hey man, dude, here come. Oh well, I forgot. We being politically correct on here. I'm gonna give him his government name, Mr. Adrian Johnson, aka DC Drake. Have a backpack full. He had 2 backpacks. I'm like, say, bro, why you always carrying them backpacks, dog? I know you ain't that studious. He say, man, I ain't that studious, but I'm a finesse hustler. I say, man, what you got in there? He say, man, look, let me show you something. This dude had about 20 cartons of cigarettes. He said, man, come make this run with me, man. We go up, German dude, he giving him almost $150 for a carton of cigarettes, and he like, say, man, you want to go get some $80, man, it's on me. I'm like, huh? Man, tell him about that foreign transaction you was doing. Now, I'm going to tell you this now, I don't think you should be doing that when you talk to the kids over there right now, because you're going to give everybody that hustle.
Nah, listen, man. I promise you, man. That's allegedly. That's allegedly. Oh, that's allegedly. But nah, I was getting some little bit of change over there, man. I was doing my thing, man.
Boy, you was getting a whole bunch of change, dog. What was the first ride you brought? Was it like a little BMW or something? Wow, you didn't even have a driver's license, man.
You know, but I had a couple of hustles, man. I kept a couple of hustles, and I always signed my name on that. I don't care if I didn't work or if I did work. I always sign my name on that commissary list
Yeah, man,
because
you
you know
used to sign your name on the
that old man.
commissary list and get
What's the
ghosts.
old, what's the old white man name?
But I don't know what they do, but I can remember that old cat,
Man, he
man.
was senile. So all I do is stand in front of him, you understand, and talk to him a little bit. When he get a meeting before he tell you what your cleanup is and shit,
Yeah.
then I pay a nigga to do my cleanup and dip out. So that way, if the police catch me and they say, where you get all this money from? Man, I work at the commissary. You understand? My name on the list.
But then you also had, we can't leave out that you also had your little backdoor gig, man, at like, what, 15 years old, man, where you were in the club DJing for older cats, man. You like 15, but you rocking the crowd for cats that's like 21, 22, 23, 25,
Yeah,
30
they was
years
grown.
old.
They was grown, no doubt. I was up at the club, the Harlems, DJing at the club Harlems. You know, we started out going to the Rainbow, but the nigga that owned Rainbow owned the Harlems. So I talked my way into DJing at the Harlems, and I used to DJ the set. But every other weekend or every few days, we up in that joint wrecking. So we up in there fighting this shit. Hey, we up there fighting, and one day we in that joint. I done got ineligible for some crazy shit. Couldn't play basketball. So this is when I left. Oh, so we in there DJ. I'm in there DJing. They excuse me. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm in there DJing, and the manager come running up on me like, "Hey, Dre, I told you, man. If y'all fight in here one more time, you fired." So I turned the lights on. I see them army niggas, the dogs. They was over there trying to wreck with my crew and shit. So I go
And for y'all
run
don't know,
over.
when he talking about the army cats that had the dogs, he was talking about these cats. They had went like a year of college and they had already pledged Omega Psi Phi, and they called themselves the Q Dogs. And them cats, they was
And
coming over there. They thought they was wrecking things, but they really didn't understand, man. You know what? That brat life was a miniature army. You know what I mean?
what? Listen, but they was swole, man. These niggas was like big. I'm talking about like they just wake up eating fours in the morning. I don't know. You understand what I'm saying, Paul? But yeah, they run nigga run up on me. We get the wrecking in the joint. Long story short, man, we end up wrecking them joints for about 4 days out that joint. But that was my one of my experiences of DJing in the club because my peoples didn't like for the GIs to talk to the brat life females who wasn't having that. You
So I'm gonna tell
understand?
you this. Why don't you go into the story? And I know a lot of people don't know about this, and you really don't even talk about it too much about how uh, you had a famous name before it even got famous with the big and small.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, man, remember, like I said, in that interview, me and you used to be rapping. We was in the crew TDF. You understand? So we used to be rapping, and we be rapping about anything and everything. Come on, we had all kinds of raps. You understand? And we used to be battling the different crews because you know back then. Remember back then when we was TDF, it was like several different crews in the school.
Yeah,
You
no
had
doubt.
Lee Rock, you had
Johnson
Johnson.
Crew.
Then I don't even know what Allen and them was called, but they was. Then you had Greg and Steve. You understand? All everybody had their own little rap crew, and man, you was and Pat was up there rapping. But you know, that's all I used to. That's all it was. Is like you know, I used to do the rap battle thing. Then, but I was still in the streets. So when I got in trouble and went to Osborne, after I graduated, I had set up shop in Osborne, and I still had shop up Nuremberg. So when I came back to Osborne one day, they like, yo, man, it's some new dudes. I'm like, oh yeah, where they came from the world? They like, nah, they came from Frankfurt. And I'm like, oh yeah? They like, yeah, they be fresh. I be like, nah, yeah, I know I'm the only one around here fresh. You understand? But I see them and they fresh. You understand? They fresh as meat. So I end up going back up Nuremberg one year for a regional track meet. And you know, we used to go to all them different schools, all areas for the rap battles and all that. So when I went up there to the track meet, while we was getting to leave, somebody from I think Bamberg somewhere, I don't know, one of them places we used to go to regional area dances and shit. Nice to get on the mic. One of them wanted to battle me. So I'm like, but you know, it's a whole bunch of people around, so I wasn't even in the mood to battle. Nigga, I'm chilling. You understand? For real, I'm high as hell. So he go to battle. Boom, we go over like 2-3 rounds. Then about the third round, this nigga get to doing a song, a whole song, bro. And you know, I don't know nothing about no songs. You understand? I only been in the studio one time before this, and that's when me and Dougie Keith Lee. Shout out to Keith Lee and Keith Lee Vision. Y'all need that interview on BRAT Life TV, bro. But yeah, we was on the block one day and a nigga pulled up in the joint and said, "Yo, come on, I hear y'all can rap. You take y'all to the studio." We went to the studio and rapped a little bit, but I ain't know nothing. So this dude goes singing. He get rapping and he get to the hook, and wherever he from, everybody knew the hook. And they get to singing the hook. I'm like, oh, what fuck is going? What's So my man Scotty must have seen it in my face. So he like, hold on. That's the one I had the second interview with. If you watching BRAT Life TV, y'all know the second interview, Scott. So he like, hold on, boom. He go out there, start flossing. He got diamonds on every finger. You understand? Spin his back to the nigga. Then we step off. When we step off, we go to this man Gerald car. Gerald motherfucker got the monkey BMW tinted out, smacked out. We jump in that joint. We ride back to his house because I caught a ride. I rode up with some other people. So I jump back in with them. We ride back to his house. They got a studio in the basement. Now he tell me how to write bars, how to write hooks, how to count beats, rather. Once he taught me how to count the beats, I know how to write the shit. You know what I'm saying? But he just teach me how to count 16s. You know what I'm saying? How long the hook so to be, this and that. Okay, say no more. Boom. Next thing you know, I'm in that joint every day, writing. Boom. Now I'm Biggie Smalls, and they say, "Yo, you in the group with us." They had just put out a single on this compilation with D, which was the first interview I had, D Ski. They put out the single "Let's House."
That cat, he got a Grammy, right? They had a lot of buzz overseas, didn't they?
Nah, it went number one though. It went number one, and then he ended up getting signed to RCA.
Okay.
So during that time, I spun off and started my own group. I was still Biggie Smalls. My DJ was Mr. Quick. Shout out to Mr. Kahai. And my dancers, Silky Smooth. My man Reese and Ty. And I used to do like Big Daddy Kane. I be rapping and dancing and shit with my dancers. And my DJ be cutting shit up. You understand? And we was on tour and all that shit. Like I opened up for Force MDs up at Redhead.
Now I got a question. I don't mean to cut you
Redneck
off.
motherfuckers.
Redhead Kingpin. Hey, now I got a question to ask you.
Nah, I would say I opened up at this club called Redneck Motherfuckers with Force MD.
Now I do have a question.
Yeah.
How were you able to transition from that BRAT Life Germany world to a big mecca to where you from, DC, and able to have an impact in the music world that you did? Because I know you had encounters with Puffy, where he came with some crazy stuff, and then you also had to deal with what's the cat name that was he was on that soul R&B mix doing this thing, Aaron Hall and them cats. How did you transition that life, man? How did you get that plug?
Well, BRAT life, baby. I'm a brat. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a network. So when I got back, I was always writing. In fact, I had to get out of Germany. It wasn't like I just came back. If I had a choice, I would have never left Germany. But it was either get out of Germany or go to jail. So it was get out of Germany.
Well, you had a whole bunch of options that was trying to put you in jail, bro. And I ain't just talking about that right there, boy. Because I'm gonna tell you, man, you was a loose cannon over there, man. You know,
Yeah,
God really spared you, man, to get
yes,
you
it
to
did.
where you
And,
are
and,
today.
and the crazy part is, one day I was over my girl house at the time, and me and my man had just came back from a week of making moves, and I was like, yo, I think I was reading Alice Haley, Malcolm X, and I was like, yo, I think I'm gonna become Muslim. And he's like, yo, why you want to be something that you ain't? But I came back, and I ended up going to, but I was still listening like uh, the minister and stuff like that. So I ended up going in the mosque when I came back,
You know what,
but
man?
I still was rapping.
R.I.P. the
Yo,
old Gwen, man. I remember, boy, you saved me from breaking my ankle, man, messing around with Gwen when I had to take flight out the window, boy.
yeah, you talking about I the man. You talking about when I had to push you out the window because you taking too long.
Yeah, man. I was like, man, I was like, man, what we gonna do? He say, man, I'm father coming up, bro. We ain't got nothing to do. Next thing I looked up, man, I was airborne. And I think it probably, if I would have thought about it, man, I probably would have broke my ankle or something. But just going with the flow and being, man, hey,
Yeah, I
people
was
always
coming
talk
right
about
behind
being
you,
a
nigga. You was taking
parachute
too
jumper.
long.
Man, I've been had my parachute wings, bro.
You was thinking about it too long.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. I know you done got a little gray. You can tell I'm fully gray now, man. But you remember back in the day, I think we was one of the first cats that really put that old slow song into our rap when we used to hit them up with girl, what's your phone number?
Hey, so I ended up coming back here, getting starting a group called Black Hands of Persecution. We was doing the damn thing. I had a singer in my group, and back then, singing wasn't even in rap. You understand? This was early '90s, late '80s, and you know what I'm saying. I had put a singer in my group, and my group was called Black Hands of Persecution, but I was still Biggie Smalls, and I'm doing a lot of performing, and I'm performing up Howard a lot at Blackburn, at Frampton. At the time, Puffy's still going to Howard, but
Who
he
you say,
lost his
Power?
job. Howard,
But hey, didn't you
Howard
link up with them
Howard
guys
University.
that was singing
Hold on,
I
let me
Got the
finish, man.
Power?
Yeah. So Puffy was still going to Howard at that time, and he's watching me perform as Biggie Smalls. He had lost his job at Uptown shopping, and he wasn't shopping for a deal yet. Now, Biggie name was Quest at the time, MC Quest. Also, who was going to Howard at the time when I'm rocking up there was the one that's on Biggie album, which was the mad rapper, D-Dot, D'Angelo, whatever. He was in a group called Two Kings in the Cypher. And one day I had the dude that had Two Kings in the Cypher was Hawk Islam. Hawk Islam was the one that started that just had the label from Two Kings in the Cypher, but he got his money from Gambler and Huff out of Philly. So he came down there to do a showcase one day up at Howard, and he was selling the tickets or whatever. And while he was down there, I asked him, could I perform? Or my manager asked him, could we perform? He said, yeah. Now, I think he just said, yeah, because we was in a nation or something, but I don't think he really knew the buzz that I had at the time. And so he was trying to bring out Pure Soul because he the one found Pure Soul, Drew Hill, Maya, and he found Two Kings in the Cypher. So I come up there to perform. I got the DAT. This is back in the day when this DAT. So I got the DAT. I got a studio in my house, so I didn't play the joint 3 times before I left the house. Put it in, it don't even play. I'm like, what's going on? Go back to the house, put it on cassette. Go back up there because I always do a sound check. It's just law. You understand? That's one thing we've been doing since back in Germany. We're gonna do a sound check. We're gonna make sure our stuff right. We're gonna practice. It's just law. So I come back up there, put the cassette in. Now they won't play neither. So I take my group in the hallway. I'm like, yo, they trying to sabotage us. You understand? But we're gonna do it like this. And this before I had got married the first time. I go on stage, tell my hype man, yo, you beatbox. Tell my singer, you sing, I'm gonna do the rest. And I got to rapping about females And then I called by the second verse, I called my wife up on stage and got to rapping to her. She wasn't my wife at the time, but I called her up on stage, got to rapping to her, and the crowd went crazy. You understand what I'm saying? So then when I'm walking off the stage, he like, yo, leave your manager and come side with me. But you know, I had just got a raw deal in Germany with my manager. When we come back off a tour, he done took some equipment. I'm trying to finish my joint. We had to deal with all that stuff. I'm like, man, what? So we had to sit down with him and all that. And at the same token, when we had to sit down with him to have dinner and all that, D Dot did. You understand what I'm saying? But I wasn't really fading that deal. But then right after that, Puffy come with Biggie and Craig Mack. But what they didn't know is I had it copywritten, so they couldn't like use it. So at the end of the day, that's when they tried to put the
So you were
narrative
already
out.
somewhat up on the legal game to get yourself
Yeah,
comfortable.
I just came from Germany from getting jerked around. I already know what I needed to do. You understand what I'm saying? So they tried to spin the narrative and say it was a white man. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Biggie came out and announced that he can't be using Biggie no longer. He can't use Biggie Smalls no longer, or he gonna get sued. They tried to spin the narrative like it was a white man, but all along, you know what I'm saying? That was me. You understand? And I didn't opened up for Onyx, gave Fredro Starr the card. Yo, he kept Fredro Starr was like, yo, Black Hands, yo, that's dope. Yo, Black Hands, that's dope. Then I look up and McGriff got Black Hands Entertainment in Queens. You understand? So it's like that's why I be saying about the pieces of the puzzle. There's so many stories like this that the Brats encountered. You talk about power. You understand? I got the power. Snap. You know what I'm saying? That song came out here and over there. You understand? So like, raping niggas ain't just start happening. You understand what I'm saying? Look at Jay with that 5 in the morning. That came from RE. That's the Go Go song. You understand? He ended up getting sued for it. He broke him off a little something, but at the end of the day, it's been happening.
Well, I know when I came and visited you in DC, man, you showed me a nice time, especially in that underground world of that go-go, man, and you were real known over there on that go-go scene. Um, what introduced you to that go-go, man?
I mean, I'm born and bred in DC. You understand what I'm saying? That's just the music that we get down to. You know what I'm saying? We've been doing it way back in the day. You know, uh, um, go go is just it, it it reached people's ears when we was in Germany, um, cause of Chuck. You know, Chuck Brown had that. I feel like busting loose. So when that was there, then it touched the world. Well, first, then you got drop the bomb with Trouble Funk, and then when EU put doing the butt Spike Lee movie, and then you got Junk doing the got getting signed to the Def Jam with the sardines and pork and beans, and they was on the movie Tougher Than Leather. You understand? Like so, Go Go been impactful in the music industry. We just keep control of it. You understand? Whereas though, um, with R&B, with all that, you got to go through them people to get distribution. We distribute ourselves with the Go Go because the love that DC have for Go Go, we don't need no distribution. We don't need they gonna eat. You understand what I'm saying? Shout out to Go Go. And we
Yeah,
just
yeah,
opened up a
man,
go-go.
go-go.
And we just opened up a go-go museum in Southeast. Yo, go check it. Come check it out. You get your history of go-go. Go-go been representing. You understand? That's where Wale come from. You know what I'm saying? Wale used to rock with CCB. You understand? So go real. Come on, man. I was just looking at something the other day where LL was giving praise to it. That's where he got the Rock the Bells idea from. You understand? Look at Kid and Play with that Ola, hey. You know, go impactful, salt and pepper. You understand? Go impactful, brother. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, go-go.
you had your folks listening to the Go Go when we was together. You understand? They was like, yeah, stop
Yeah,
playing.
yeah, man. You know, I had to bring him into a whole new world, and you know, and that's what I'm saying. Sometimes that you got to get out the city limits to really embrace all walks of life. You know what I mean? Because that
Yeah,
go-go
no
is
doubt.
definitely a different vibe. Now I'm gonna ask you a question that you asked me. What are three main influence that impacted your life that you look up to and give credit to?
It's kind of hard for me to answer that question now that you answered that question. You understand? Because when I look around and I think about it, everybody in my life is impactful in some kind of way. You understand what I'm saying? And truth of the matter, even if it's bad,
Yeah, because
because
it help you learn.
the exactly. You understand what I'm saying? So I you know, I live my life with no regrets, man. I just I thank God a lot for the individuals that has been in my life. You understand? Because without individuals like yourself, and I, I got numerous of people I can name. You understand what I'm saying? That I wouldn't be who I am. You understand? Because still shopping still, and I got good men that's around me teaching me what it is to be a man. You understand? And if I fall short, they don't have no problem with pulling me up on that. With that said, all said and done, you understand? And I even have some good women that's around me that do it as well. You understand? So with that all said, it's kind of hard for me to even think about a direct three. You understand?
I feel you. You know what, man? I think one of the most funnest times that I done had as an adult, man, was that time when we all had a chance to hook up, me, you, a Renthal, as you know, aka
Yeah.
Snotty Nose, and
You
what's
know,
the name?
we was we
What's
was
the name? Short
man,
King.
we was in that restaurant. That lady, man, I know she still be thinking about us to this day.
Yeah, man. You know,
To
that's the
this
first
day.
time, man. I thought I was gonna have to go to the doctor, man, for just laughing so hard, man.
Man,
It was a crazy vibe that night.
man, that was a different atmosphere.
No doubt.
We
Hey, well, you know
it
what,
was
man? We
something
done
else.
came close down to the hour. I want to thank you for allowing me to interview you, man. I want to thank you for all the positives that you putting down. I want to thank God for giving you the vision with this Brat Life TV. I also want to thank God and ask God to continue blessing you with the mindset that you have to be creative. And then at this point, one of the main things that you always do that's very touching, man. Let's go ahead and take this moment of silence to all the brats that passed away that's looking down on us from heaven, man. So let's go ahead and take this moment of silence right quick. And there you have it, folks. That's that Brat Life with the creator, Adrian Johnson, DC Dre at his best, man. Speaking out on some real life adventures, man. Peace. God love y'all.
Hey, thank God for tuning in to Brat Talk with my man Anderson Brazil. We will be doing this again. We'll have another guest besides myself and have Anderson host another segment where we both on here and he has another guest.
No doubt, boy.
Peace.
I'ma holla. Peace.
Yeah.